Welcome to the Boyer's Coffee Laboratory and Tasting Room. Today we're talking about why coffee roasted at altitude tastes better. Before we talk about coffee roasting, I want to take us back to origin and talk about where coffee's grown. Coffee's grown all around the equator, all around the world. More specifically, it's from the tropics of Cancer through the tropics of Capricorn. So coffee can grow from sea level to about 8,000 feet above sea level. But really good coffee, high quality coffee, grows at elevation. In the coffee industry, we define elevation at 1,000 meters or higher. That would be 3,200 feet above sea level. The really good stuff grows higher on the mountain. It's more complex, there's more things happening in the cup. It's usually of higher quality. Here at Boyer's Coffee, we're located in Denver. It's a mile high. We're technically on a hill in Denver, so our final elevation is 5,400 feet. We definitely get to take advantage of high altitude roasting. You may have noticed if you're looking at an online recipe or reading a cookbook that sometimes there's alternative directions for cooking. It's called high altitude instructions. That's because there's a fundamental difference at high altitude. Our ambient air pressure and available oxygen in the air is a lot less than sea level. 15 to 25% less. Here where we're located, the actual percentage is 18%. What does that mean? That means things act differently when you cook them. A good example is in science class, you probably remember water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. That's true, at sea level. Here in Denver, water boils at about 196. So we have to keep our water towers programmed at 195. If we were to go up in elevation a little bit more to the ski resorts, water would actually boil at about 185 degrees. So there is a fundamental difference between air pressure, oxygen, and how things cook or roast. So what is coffee roasting? You have to understand that coffee itself is a very complex agricultural product, but it's extremely delicate. There's over 1,000 known chemical compounds in coffee. That's pretty complex. So how it was grown, how it was harvested, how it was dried, transported, brewed by you, is all going to affect that taste that you have inside the cup of coffee. So what does all this mean? When you're roasting coffee, what you're really doing is taking this dried agricultural product, you're putting it in an extreme environment. There's extreme heat, there's agitation and rotation going on for a period of time. What's happening during the roasting process is we're actually changing the appearance of the beans, the color of the beans, and we're unlocking aromatics and flavor compounds that you taste in the cup when you brew it. So what's happening in the roasting process? First, there's water that's evaporating out of the dried bean. Secondly, there's available sugars and carbohydrates that are breaking down, creating new sugars, interacting with amino acids, and creating new chemical compounds. As we go from a green to a light roast, to a medium roast, to a dark roast, we're really unlocking different flavor and aromatics that are present in the cup. When we do high altitude roasting, we're able to finish our coffees sooner at lower temperatures. And there's a benefit to you. We get to keep more of those nuances in the bean. Specifically, there's a sweeter cup of coffee because it spends less time under fire. There's more body in the cup because we are able to finish at lower temps and less time. There's more acidity in the cup, which creates that brightness that's pleasing. And what my favorite characteristic is it creates a signature velvety smooth finish. Since there's more sweetness in the cup and available acidity, you meld those together and you end up with a really satisfying smooth finish. Well, thanks for spending some time with us today to understand why high altitude coffee is better. I want you to remember that if it's grown higher on the mountain, it's higher quality, and if it's roasted at altitude, you'll have a better cup.